Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Soccer Manager TV episode 2. And tonight I'm in Milan, sitting down, very happy. And I'm joined again by my good friend, Mr. DP Dan Payne. How are you, Dan?
I'm not bad. Yourself? Have you had a good night?
Yeah, I'm very good. I scored a hat-trick tonight for my six-a-side team. That's true, real life. A real hat-trick as well. It's my first one ever. Or at least since I was about 10 years old, so I'm chuffed to bits, to be fair. And I got a new job as well today, so I'm all very happy. And Man United bang on top 4. What did Spurs do?
Disappointing night. Game of fine margins. Spurs hitting the woodwork 2-3 times. I think it was, but it was a really tough game. And the fact that they started so well, it looked like it's been another 4-0 victory. I mean, 40 minutes in, they had that many shots on goal, so it looked like they were coasting, but sadly it wasn't the case, and West Brom got the goal from the set piece, as you'd expect, and there you go. Spurs just couldn't really do it at the end of the game with the 2 lines of 4. So
are we asking the question now when Leicester will win the league and where? What do you think is the answer to that question?
Yeah, I think that's the good question now. I do believe, and I did before tonight, that Man United would get the result at the weekend against them, so that puts it back another week. But then Spurs have to do the job against Chelsea, and that's a tough ask. So maybe it's a couple down the line. Maybe it's when they play Everton. I mean, that is quite a likely game based on Everton's form. So yeah, I think that could probably be it. I mean, you're saying United are definite for top 4, so you probably presume that they're going to beat Leicester at the weekend.
Yeah, I honestly think that Man United will finish top 4, just because Man City have still got to play Arsenal. So there has to be drop points there. Of course, worst case scenario is it's a draw, but I still think City could drop points. They've got Southampton away this weekend, which in between 2 Madrid home and away could be a bit dodgy.
And then I guess as well, briefly on those Champions League games this week, do you think City will get the result at home to Madrid, and what about Atletico at home to Bayern?
It's important for Manchester United that Manchester City have something to play for next week. Consequently, I hope that City will get something against Madrid. But Madrid, to be fair, although I saw highlights, had a pretty poor first 10 minutes, didn't they, at the weekend?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Even though they come back to win.
Yeah, that'd be a tricky one. Obviously going 2-0 down, but the 3-goal comeback, that's going to surely get them going for the next game.
Bayern Atletico, I don't think there's a lot to choose between them. I think it's a tough call.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm definitely going to be backing Atletico there, or hopefully they'll do it. So anyway, with Top 100 this week, we've had the poll up on the blog. I mean, the main asked for thing was top 100 transfers. So recent transfers, what have you got to say about some of those?
Well, the Berahino one, something I'll talk about first. Obviously, Berahino to move to Arsenal in exchange for Joselu and Duarte. As soon as it happened, I got Martial was on the phone to me. He wants to come to Milan. But both, he just doesn't want to let him go. Anything else? Got a good deal for him. But all in all, obviously Martial will come eventually. But I'm not sure about this one as a deal. I think for West Bromwich Albion, it's a good deal because they're struggling in Division 4, and it gives them another option at the back, and it gives them an option going forward. And will Berahino rise? Probably at the moment, I'd say no, with the amount of English strikers that are in front of him. He might get his move in the summer, but I can't see him getting a rise at the moment. Consequently, it's probably a better deal for West Brom in terms of giving them squad depth, because Berahino isn't going to get near that Arsenal team, let's face it. What about Felipe Luis?
Yeah, been busy lately. Gino's done quite well. He's gone and got some more left-back depth, bringing in Felipe Luis from Atletico Madrid, and Destro's going the other way. I mean, I quite like this deal for Gino with that extra depth. I mean, it's a position where it's hard to come across like a lot of depth at like left or right fullback. So good deal for him, and obviously Atletico as well. They've got Gaia coming into the position in their squad, so it doesn't really matter too much for them. Other deal I quite liked was Demarai Gray. Just a little exchange with Espanyol. Doug's been pretty active in the market at Espanyol, and he's got a vast array of attacking players at his disposal. So he needs a bit of form to get out that relegation zone, and it's the exact same for Sunderland actually. I think they're also down there, sort of like exact same position, trying to get out the relegation zone. They needed defensive cover, so nice little deal there. And then, of course, one you've got to mention, I guess, at the moment is Chelsea. I mean, they've been smashing out the deals. Big name arrivals like Coutinho, Pjanic, and Ramsey.
Coutinho, obviously he moved from Liverpool, didn't he, to one of the Mackenzies. I'm not sure which, because there's two of them and I get confused, to be honest. Liverpool get a striker in return with the potential to replace Origi. And this guy is generally useful. He's still young, and I think it's a cracking deal for Liverpool, to be honest, as in the two players that they picked up. And Coutinho went the other way. And I don't think Coutinho can play centre-forward on Soccer Manager. And generally speaking, from my experience, if you don't play centre-forward, you don't score enough goals.
So yeah, plenty of deals lately in general. Obviously, if anyone's interested in coming in on the show next week and talking about the transfers, just let us know. That'd be sort of good to get a different opinion, I guess.
DP, is that your phone ringing?
That is indeed my phone ringing yet again. Everyone's on my case. Always trying to get on, have a question, have a little word about top 100. It is Fred. Fred Dodger.
Fred? Oh, I've got a question for Fred.
Go on, let's hear it.
Fred, last week Noisy claimed you wouldn't be able to dodge the bullet at Lazio. And as a failed Division 2 manager yourself at Galatasaray, who do you think will be replacing you in Division 1 next season?
Hello, this is Fred Dodger calling from Rome. Thanks for asking me onto the Top 100 show. Very nice to be here. There's been a question put to me regarding who should replace me at Lazio, given the possibility of relegation. I think that's a bit premature. We've had a good week, very good result against Leverkusen. We're in a good position now. Still some tough games to go, but I think we can do it. I'm confident of that. We've made a couple of good signings recently, one of which surprised a few people, I think, swapping Navas for Aogo. But Dennis has proven his worth in the side. I think if you look at his stats so far, he really has made the difference to us on the left side. He's a good lad, hard worker, plenty of skills, and I stand by that decision. I think it will prove to be instrumental. As to who might replace me, given the possibility of relegation, and I've also been quoted as a failed second division manager. I think, given the circumstances I was working under at Galatasaray and the resources there, I think I did a pretty decent job. I think since I left, they've only won once, so I think that could point to something. So I think that's again an unfair accusation. I'm coming out fighting against that. But as far as up and coming managers in Division 2, I think Oren Robson at Newcastle is doing a very good job. If he doesn't go up himself, I think he's probably in line for a good Division 1 club. And Houdini Smith at Sporting also seems to be doing a very good job with relatively limited resources. So those are the two I would pick to replace anybody in Division 1, if they don't go up themselves, of course. I see the Division 1 battle for relegation going all the way. There's going to be some disappointed managers there. I think it's likely that Leverkusen will be relegated. I think Stephen Beddoes' Milan side are in grave danger. I think they'll probably be in the relegation zone. And it's perhaps surprising to some, I think Valencia are going to get dragged back in there as well. I see them dropping some more points in the not too distant future. Sevilla, I think, have already gone as well. So Sevilla, Leverkusen, Milan, Valencia are the ones I see going down. As to who is going to get sacked out of them, I couldn't say. I think again, the Sevilla manager will probably come bottom. As for the others, I couldn't say. It's too close to call. Obviously, you never want to see your fellow managers get the boot, but it happens to us all. And best of luck to everybody. So that's about it from me. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I hope I get invited back soon. Thanks a lot. Good night.
Oh, cheers, Fred. Work on adjusting that volume for us next time, will you, please? So, how about that then? Do you wish Fred luck for the season?
Not really, no.
just no.
No.
Anyway, let's move on to Division 3.
Cool, yeah, that's cool. I like looking at Division 3 a little bit. So I'll do the top, you do the bottom.
Yep, good with me.
Can we start with the top or the bottom?
Let's start with the top, where the action's at.
Cool. I've been really impressed with Michael H, the Ajax manager, who's the greatest Irish manager since Tony Cascarino. That's what they're saying in Dublin at the moment, anyway. I'm not even sure if Tony Cascarino was Irish, but, you know. Been impressed with Marseille as well. Kevin Wallace has been doing very, very well. I think a lot of credit goes to him. He's top guy. He was relegated last season, so it'll be great to see them bounce back. And then you've also got Rob Kennedy and Danny Lennis at Basel and CSK, both doing really well. And they both deserve promotion if they manage to achieve it. But, you know, it's really tight up there. There's very few points separating the teams in the playoffs and just outside the playoffs. What about the bottom? Anybody caught your eye? Anybody doomed? Anybody likely to survive?
Well, obviously, it seems to be the case in most divisions at the moment. You know, we've got 7 games left, so still quite a lot of teams are down the bottom there and in danger. I think there's a good 7 or so it's quite similar to Division 1 in that respect. And down the bottom, I'm quite surprised to see David Marsden's Hamburg side struggling. They've obviously done quite well in the cup fixtures of late. Getting through thanks to my little loan signing, Luan. You know, he's done them quite well down there. But in the league, they're struggling. I think they're in the relegation zone at the moment. 4 losses in a row, yeah. So they're struggling.
Marsden's always been a bottler.
Yeah, always. We know that from EC2. Yeah, and then another one I'm quite surprised at is Golden Bears. Monaco, he done quite a lot of transfers back in February sort of time. You had Bernardo Silva leave, Kurzawa, and Martial actually was leaving Monaco back then as well. So, you know, he sort of brought in his squad players and saw these big names go, and they've just been struggling. And I don't know, I think the good little question I think here is that I think quite a lot of managers have sort of missed a boat on transfers, and possibly yourself included. You know, you've done quite a few lately, so maybe you're picking it up. But you compare it to the likes of, you know, David Senior in Division 1. Perhaps these transfers are, you know, changing up the squad, getting rid of your Bon Lahores with, you know, off just smoking shisha, and, you know, bringing in someone more reliable, Lee Kettermall. They could be the game changers.
Last thing got to talk about, I think, today, DP, really, is the Shield final tomorrow. Obviously, Guzman won the cup last week. I think he's been holidaying in Mauritius and all these places with all his players because he's, you know, just been gloating in the glory. But we've got 2 odd sides in the Shield final. Is it Stuttgart against
David Marsden's Hamburg? You know, that's the cup they've been doing well in. This is a real good one, I think. I mean, we had the final recently, obviously in the cup, where there was like an underdog story, but in this one, like, they're both technically underdogs. I mean, some people might favour Stuttgart. I mean, Fergal's had to do quite a lot since he's gone in there and, you know, cut the squad down and all of that. So he's done a great job. But then, you know, Hamburg is struggling down the bottom of Division 3. So it's a great achievement for them to be in the final as well. If you tipping anyone at all?
I like both managers. I have a lot of respect for both, particularly Marsden, even despite my snide comment earlier on. You know, I think he's got unknown qualities as a manager, and I'd like to see Marsden win it, personally.
Alright. Well, in general, if anyone else has got an opinion, I guess, for future shows and weeks to come, like, just let us know. And there's always easy ways to get involved with the show. So if you are interested, just send us a message and maybe we can get you on the show.
Cool. Alright. Thanks very much for your time, Mr. DP. I'm sure you're going to go drown your sorrows now. I'm going to have a beer to celebrate my hat trick.
Yeah, sounds about right, to be honest.